Look here from our Earth Cam. You're looking at the National Mall, and you can probably see some of the grass down on the National Mall, making out what looks to be a faint 8, and then next to it potentially a 7. There is the thought that maybe with some grass killer, someone was able to devise the numbers 8647, potentially a threat there on the president's life. And this is, again, on the National Mall, a term adopted by some of Trump's opponents as a protest against the administration. Trump allies, the Department of Justice, have said it can be interpreted as a call for violence. Again, this is that Earth Cam live look over the National Mall, and maybe we can take down that banner so you can see some of what we're seeing here. You can make out, Ken, that 8 on the grass. The rest of the numbers, not so much from this vantage point, but nonetheless, this is being investigated at this hour. What do you make of this?
So Park Police will be the ones doing the investigation on this. It may have been a weed killer that was used to actually kill the grass along this area, and that they managed to get the 8 in before they got the rest over there. This is not the first time we saw 8647 there on the National Mall. You'll recall that those lighting systems that had the potential sabotage on there, at the same time there was graffiti at that time that was 8647 that was put in the area. So if somebody decided to go large in this case and put a very, very large 8647 that would be very prominent when we get to the celebrations on July 4th.
Yeah, this is an area that is incredibly heavily surveilled, Ken. I don't know how many cameras. I mean, we've got a weather camera from this vantage point. Do you think that investigators will be able to zero in on who was making the figures of these numbers potentially?
So after the previous display of 8647 during the potential sabotage of the lighting systems, I'm sure that the Park Police that was investigating that is looking at all possible graffiti there in this area. So I am sure there are cameras that may have views of this that might disclose who was actually putting this into the grass at the time.
All right, we'll be waiting and watching as this investigation continues. But like you say, we're just weeks away from the big celebrations there on the mall. And that was clearly intended to send a message here. We'll wait for more. Ken, as always, thank you for your insight here.